the imports, all of the exclusives, TISTINA, we have it all. Make sure you smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And remember, check out Kong's cards, use the discount code MCOL40 and save on your purchase of the new cards. Pre-orders will be up as the afternoon goes here, so check out their website so you are on top of this. We're starting things off here with the Zudomasaurus. Yeah, you heard me say that correctly. While you control another dinosaur monster, your opponent cannot target this card with attacks, and you can target one card you control, destroy it. Okay. And you can only use this effect of the Zorus once per turn on a 500, 400. Very interesting. 82 here as a fantastic card. This is the Finis Terre. If you control a level 10 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Finis Terre once per turn this way. And if this card is sent to the graveyard and target one face-up card on the field, that card cannot be destroyed by card effects, and you can only use this effect of Finis Terre once per turn. That's a special summon for zombies, by the way. I actually am extremely happy to have this. Next up is the KUIBELT, the Blade Dragon, and now this is some exciting stuff here. This is one tuner plus one or more non-tuner to make this. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. If this card on the field is destroyed, you can target one face-up monster on the field. That monster cannot attack until the end of the opponent's next turn. The only thing we care about here is this is a level 7 synchro. On summon, pop something, and then you get additional benefits from there. It's also a Dark Dragon Synchro. Next up is the STORAGEPOD. Oh boy, this is a Triceratops or a Stegosaurus plus a machine or dinosaur monster. Triceratops, or Trifortress Tops, was a TCG exclusive way back in the day. Cannot be destroyed by battle while a monster special summoned from the graveyard is on the field. If a monster or monster special summoned while this card is on the field, except during damage, target one card you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. That's actually hilarious for a TCG exclusive. 85 here, Synchro FORCEBACK. Target monsters on the field up to the number of Synchro monsters with different names you control. Return them to the hand. You can only activate one Synchro FORCEBACK per turn. Now this is actually pretty absurd in my personal opinion, because this gives a spin back on synchro cards, well, actually on everything that your opponent might set up to the number of synchros that you have. So if you're playing like a Yusei Fudo synchro turbo deck, this gives you free bounces across the field. Like, this is pretty good. Next up is Sentinel of the TISTINA here at 86. If this card in your hand or graveyard, and you control a light TISTINA monster, you can special summon this card. You can target one TISTINA monster or one face-up card, or excuse me, one face-down card you control, destroy it, and then you can add one TISTINA card deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. That's actually not bad. For opening up the doors for the first little bit of TISTINA stuff, this feels actually pretty decent. Next up is Hound of the TISTINA, another level 4 here, and this is an Aqua. So if this card is in your hand or graveyard, and you control a light TISTINA monster, you can special summon this card. Okay, so we got another extender here. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn, and then TISTINA monsters you control can attack directly while your opponent controls a face-down monster. Why am I getting discount Ghost Trick vibes here from what it feels like they're trying to do with this? Because it's kind of interesting. Next up is 88, the Demigod of the TISTINA. If you control a TISTINA card, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can add a TISTINA spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Okay, well that's pretty good. That's literal free extension. During your opponent's turn, if you control a Crystal God TISTINA, quick effect, change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position, and then send face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. What? That's actually incredibly strong. Now we have the Crystal God TISTINA themselves. During your main phase, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position, and then send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position, and then send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. This is 2,000, 3,000. Not particularly excited about those stats, but I mean, that's something. And then number 90 here is the Divine Domain. So during your main phase, you can send one TISTINA monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then if your opponent controls one or more face-up cards, special summon a Crystal God TISTINA from your hand or deck. What? Alright, that's amazing. You only use the effect of the Divine Domain once per turn, and if this card in your field zone is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, special summon one TISTINA monster from your deck or graveyard. They really want you to have access to your boss monster here. At Breath of TISTINA here at 91. During your main phase, you normal summon one TISTINA in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only use this effect once per turn, so you do get an extension here. And then you can target one face-up monster you control, or if you control a light TISTINA monster, you can target one face-up monster on the field instead. Change that monster to face-down defense position, and then add a TISTINA card from your deck to your hand, except for Breath of the TISTINA. Wow, they really loved giving this deck all of this interesting searchability interactions. Next up is Signs of the TISTINA out here at 92. Activate this card by targeting one face-up monster on the field. Or, excuse me, activate this card by targeting a face-up monster on the field. Especially when this card is an effect monster with level 10, 0 attack, 0 defense, with the following effects. So during your opponent's turn, when that target leaves the field, destroy this card. During your opponent's turn, when this card is on the field, when this card leaves the field, destroy that target. It's actually not horrible, but it's not amazing. 93 here. We have the DAIDARA-BOCCHI. Cannot be special summoned. You contribute summon this card by tributing one zombie monster. Gains 200 attack for each zombie monster you control except for this card. And at the start of your main phase 1, if you have this card and 2 or more zombies other than this card in your graveyard, you can discard one card to add this card to your hand. I am not a super big fan of this. This feels super clunky for what they're trying to add to this deck. Next up is the Stardust WURM number 94. Now this is something to be excited about. So if this card is in your hand or graveyard, and you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And then you contribute this card, special summon up to 2 level 1 light dragon monsters from your hand or graveyard, except for Stardust WURM, but their effects cannot be activated this turn. This is pretty good for being able to get an additional extender on the field so you can continue to do Dragon Synchro plays. Next up is the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. You can send one level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. You know, I really do like this because this gets any normal that you want out of your deck loaded into the graveyard. And then you can increase this card's level by 1. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, and banish this card from your graveyard, add a Red Eyes Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This is a little bit more of a follow-up-esque style of play, but trust me when I say this card's okay. Next up is Diabolica, the Diabolic General. If a Fiend monster or monsters except for this card is sent to your graveyard by card effect, except during damage step, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. If it was there when it was sent, even if it was not, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, that's pretty standard. If it's sent to the graveyard by card effect, target one Fiend monster in your graveyard except for this card and add it to your hand. So you get a little bit of recursion on this. It is a pretty beefy card coming in at level 8, so not too crazy about this. Then we have Super Heavy Samurai Security. On normal or special summon, you get a face-up machine pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So you get access to any of those particular pendulums that you've got loaded up that's a machine. You contribute this card, special summon one Earth Machine monster with 1500 or less attack from your hand or a graveyard. That's actually pretty decent. Depending on the level of synergy that you can actually kind of bring together with this, it's actually not bad. You can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. So actually not too bad. And then we have the Magician of Faithfulness here coming in at 98. This is the flip, lets you target one spell in your graveyard added to your hand, and then you can special summon a Magician of Faith or a Magician of Faithfulness from the deck in face-down defense position. This card isn't particularly crazy. It's a cool little callback here for starting off the anniversary here, showcasing that, you know, we do have something to kind of look forward to for these particular cards, and I think that's kind of cute at the end of the day. And then we have Magic Deity Ashtoru. Once per turn, when your normal or Magic Key monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, detach one material from this card and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. And then once per turn, during the opponent's main phase quick effect, target one monster your opponent controls with the same attribute as a normal monster or a Magic Key monster you control, or in your graveyard. Detach one material from this card if you do banish that monster. And that is, of course, 2 level 8s to make it on a 3000. And then something else exciting here. We did get the chance to see Emergency and preventer here, what we have pictured is Emergency coming in as a common. So I know a lot of people were super excited to see possible, you know, higher rarity Rescue A stuff. No, we're getting stuck with these as low rarity. Big sigh, but that's okay. So what do you think about the imports and the exclusives out of this set? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.